Welcome back to the Retronomipod, a nostalgia and pop culture podcast where we discuss things from our past, present, and future. I am host number 1 in 2022. My name is Toby, and as always, across this Discord world universe of Cat 6 cables and Skynet is my beautiful black-headed friend, co-host Rick. What's up, buddy?
It's going to change forever now. We're going to go through the spectrum and be like, okay, it's not really one shade of anything.
It's funny because, like, there are times where, you know, I'm sitting in what we'll call, quote unquote, meditation, where I think of, like, these fucking perfect intros where I'm just like, I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to pop off with one of these, and then I'm going to roll into introductions. And then I get to, like, the execution of it, and I just crash and burn every time. I don't know, because look, I mean, even what, we're episode 55, right? Episode 55. Yeah. I still get nervous. Like, I still get nervous. I still, even with beer pong on Friday nights, been doing that for almost 3 years. And every time I got to make that first announcement of the night, where it's like, hey, this is what we're doing. I pick up the mic and I look around the bar and I'm like, all these people are going to stare at me and I'm going to feel so bad and I'm going to fuck up. And then right after I do it, I'm like, no one gives a shit. Like, not one person listened to anything that I said at that point. And then, you know, by the next time I have to make an announcement, I'm 2 drinks in and I'm just like, hey, what's good, boys? Beer pong, you know? Like, we're having a time.
It's a good thing, because, like, isn't there the old adage of, like, you either get excited or anxious or nervous about something? That means it's meant to be. If you went in and you're just like, then it's not worth doing. So, like, it's a good thing to be like, oh, I'm sure how this is going to go, but
here we are. Just pull the cord, let it rip. It's rough out here for a man behind a mic.
It's rough. Well, let's get into it with the weird question of the week. What color are Toucan Sam's boogers?
Okay, I
follow your note.
Yeah, well, we're gonna, because he's got. We'll have to bring up a picture of Toucan Sam here, I think. But I thought about this, right? And I think it depends on how deep the booger is.
Okay, that's fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, for those who don't know, it's the cereal mascot for Fruit Loops, my favorite cereal. Yeah.
So, you know, Toucan Sam, it depends on what picture we're looking at, but OG Toucan Sam from nose to face is black, pink, red, gold, beak colored. Mm-hmm. So depending on where the booger is, see, I guess now where my confusion is at is, you know, the artist rendering of Toucan Sam shows no nostrils. So can it have boogers? Is there boogers? Is it technically a nose?
Man, it really does matter which one you look at, because there's one where it's almost like a rainbow on his beak.
Yeah, there's some LGBTQA toucans.
Holy crap.
Okay, I like the beak better, right? Let's bring this one up. Where it's like old school toucan and then like a new rendering of Toucan Sam. The old school's body and face and everything looks so much better than the new ones, but the new one's beak, the rainbow beak, like, that's dope.
Yeah,
but the cartoony, like, Adventure Time characters that they made here, like, get that out of here.
It's nasty.
Like, give me the rainbow beak for sure, but like the old toucan in this picture looks better.
Well,
do birds get boogers?
I don't think so. I mean, all I know is that their nostrils are typically on top, right? Like, kind of on top on the side, not underneath like ours.
Yeah, it's like, but it's still like, I feel like there's like their nostrils would be here, right? Like what is this piercing called? Where it's like right between the eyes.
Oh boy.
Painful? I don't know. but they're
bridge of
like
your
up
nose.
top, right? Because they just smash their beak into stuff. Like that's how they just use their face for everything. They just get, most birds, they're just waking up and choosing violence immediately because they're like, they just go out and headbang everything. And then there's
Really?
a bird that's perfected headbanging to the point where he can cut holes in the side of your house. Like, what the fuck?
There's some weird pictures on here. So I kept scrolling down, and I've seen some like hunky ones, some obese ones.
This one with the basketball? All right, is this what we're talking about?
Yeah, that guy's a little like.
Oh God, this toucan though. Oh my, there's a Samuel L. Jackson Toucan Sam.
Motherfucker.
This one's awesome. Okay.
Nope.
Oh, this toucan's got human legs but bird feet.
Follow your toes. That's weird.
Toucan Sam is a weird. This one's got a belly button. That's fucking weird as fuck. Okay, Google. Do not need you anymore.
Okay, we got you, Toucan.
Okay,
Good night.
Look.
Back to the question at hand.
I'm gonna stay. I'm at a loss for words. All right, the Google Toucan Sam Dungeon is a ride that I did not expect to take today. I'm gonna stick with my original answer because I think it's perfect and creative, and I got one today. Check mark. And it depends on how deep it is. I think the inside of his nose mucus matches up with the outside color of his beak. This is assuming that his nostrils are on the end of his bug smasher.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a smell and all that. So, like, considering that when he says follow your nose, he's sniffing in particles of cereal, the Fruit Loops. Like, so that's a lot of sugar. That's a lot of oat or corn. I don't know what kind of whatever.
We don't ask questions we don't want answered when it comes to breakfast cereals.
It's all hyperbole, and we're just guesstimation at this point. We're not professional cereal
Speak for
enthusiasts.
yourself. I had some French Toast Crunch upstairs right now. You know what? Still good.
But I think you're right. Like, I think it's going to be a wild rainbow mess that he's picking out.
Yeah, I mean, look, by the end of his nose, like if you were to, okay, so say you like grab Toucan Sam in a headlock, right? And you get out one of those turkey basters that you use to get baby boogers.
Oh yeah,
yeah, okay.
Oh, did you know? I mean, you don't have kids, but like, there's this straw you can get where you basically stick it up their nose and you could suck the boogers out. Fucking disgusting. We never did that.
Like you suck the boogers out?
Yeah, you do the work. I'm like, no, we'll use the little snuffy ball.
No, dude.
We'll stick it up there, suck it out.
You breathed in on a spitball before, and that some bitch has come right back. Like it hit your uvula as it went down the throat, right? That's what's happened with your baby boogers. Look, I'm sure parenting is a glorious thing, and I respect parents to the fullest because that's a job that I personally don't want, right? But I'm sucking boogers out of no other human being. I'll pick my own boogers, and even that, like I can't shove stuff up my nose like that, right? Like I had stuffy nose a couple weeks ago, and my sister had some Flonase type stuff, like prescription Flonase. And like I put it on the edge of my nostril and like sprayed it up, and they all laughed at me because that's not how it works apparently, because you got to get into your sinuses.
You got to get it in there.
Oh yeah. So then I do that, and it's the worst. It's the worst, bro. Like I'm one of those people. I can't use a neti pot.
Yeah.
Talk about a weird question of the week that went off the rails. I don't like sticking shit up my nose. And I'm not sucking baby boogers out with a straw. And why would I buy a product when I could just ask for a couple extra the next time I go through Wendy's? Like, yo, can I get a couple of those Coke straws?
I need a bendy straw so that way I can kind of angle it just right, so that way I don't have to Yeah,
because wasn't there a thing we're going to talk about this for a second, and then we'll go off.
This is gross.
Wasn't there a thing that like cancel culture came for the turkey-based method in babies? They said it would like suck their brains out like an Egyptian.
If they did, I'm not aware of it, but like, I wouldn't surprise me.
You're the kind of parent that I would be, and it's just like I don't care. This is number 3. Like
Yeah.
he'll survive.
Whatever it takes. Like if that method works, which it works really well for the young kids, because you just got, once you get it in there, you just like, and it gets everything out. So like,
Yeah, it's like yeah. I'm not sucking it out. I'm not sucking it out.
No.
That's gross.
It's super gross. Because like, what if you forget to pull away, and then you're just like, oh, I love my child.
Well, and look,
Mm.
I'd be one of those blowjob givers that was like the best because I didn't know they own my own strength. Oh, if you don't think we're coming into 2022 with some blowjob metaphors, you're wrong. I don't know if it's a metaphor.
Hey, we almost made it 10 minutes without.
I've been recording for 12, sir.
Bitch.
I know the first couple is us talking about other stupid stuff, but
Every single time.
so there's colored boogers and there's baby booger straws. What I really want to know is, how was your holidays? I know we took look, guys, I'm just go ahead and address this. I bought a house this year. I moved out of the apartment that I've lived in for 7 years. I got a dog. I got a job back post-COVID that I didn't think I'd get. I also switched jobs. It has been a year.
Yeah.
It has been a year. 2021 was just like 2020 was like, hey, this fucking sucks. We're on lockdown. Everything's fucked. And 2021, we were just like, well, fuck this. We got to do something. So we did everything. I did everything.
Did it all.
I just knocked it out, right? Which means I get to go back to like podcast starting, Toby, where it's like, we're at the beginning of the year. I ain't got shit, yo. All I know right now is work. That's all I know. So I'm gonna work. I'm gonna hang out with my significant other. I'm gonna play video games, and I'm gonna podcast because that's what I want to fucking do. And I don't have any other plans. No birthdays, no holidays, no nothing. Nothing. I have to do shit. So I just want to put that out there. And I appreciate all the craziness in 2021 because I've been bad. But anyways,
it's been a hell of a year.
Anyways, how was your Christmas?
It was wild because it's just wild. It's always wild because you go see the relatives, and then last minute you're like, oh, now we're gonna host for the holidays, so now we're hosting on top of visiting other people. So it's like, okay, we got to rush back by the house so we can get stuff prepped, but it's all in fun because that way we get to see everybody, and that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, you seem like one of those holiday people. Like even through the hectic and chaos, there's like a little bit of peace and joy that comes from it. Because I was kind of raised in the same way, where it's like my entire childhood for Christmas, I always went to my grandma's house. Right? We woke up Christmas morning, we opened presents at our house, and then like my mom would leave and go to grandma's to help start cooking, and then a couple hours later, we as a family would go to grandma's house. And so would a lot of my family, right? So it was always crazy. Like Christmas was always crazy. It was never like, hey, hang out and chill, open your presents, eat your breakfast, have a drink, chill, Whereas when I was growing up, it was always just crazy. And we didn't get to chill until the day after Christmas. But like now, it's different because we have a beautiful family when it comes to hanging out and family occasions now, because right now the only people I have in Colorado family wise, other than friends of course, is my dad and my younger sister. My sister lives with me, so I get to see her all the time, right? My dad on the other hand, I don't, but when we do see each other, if we're not fishing or doing something outdoors, I don't want to hang out. Like I want to, we're at work right now. So Christmas Eve, I go see my family. We take, me, Daisy, and Haley, my younger sister, go to my dad's house. And it is like, boom, show up, cool, food. We have taco bar on Christmas. That's what we do on Christmas Eve. Always a taco bar. Awesome, right? Eat my tacos. I'm like, all right, bet. We laugh and joke, tell a couple stories, open presents. Shum, 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 right? Get done, have dessert, cup of coffee, tell a couple more stories. We out, bro. Hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours flat every time. And it is just, it's so perfect because it takes me now that we've moved, to where we're at, it takes me, a half an hour, give or take, to get to my dad's. Whereas it used to take me 4 minutes because he was 14 blocks down Colfax. It's one of those things where it's like, I enjoy time with my family, but I think I spent so much time with my family in such a hectic environment growing up that now as I'm older, I'm like, look, I've seen all the TV shows. These kids just get to go off. They don't have to worry about doing anything, like no calling anybody, like nothing. And it's like, that's where I want to be. I love my family to death, and I'd hate to not talk to like either one of my parents or whatever. But like, there's times where I'm like, I need a year where nobody with the last name that I have calls me. At all. I don't want to do anything. No weddings, no holidays, no nothing. But for my dad, at least, because my mom's back in Indiana, but for my dad, at least, it's we fish, and I have to see him through the year, and every time it's awesome. Yeah,
that works out, man.
Yeah.
Spread it out. You get to see everybody. But it's always a fun time to throw parties or get-togethers and have people over. Because at first it is like doing the podcast where it's at first it's like, oh God, do we have enough this? Do we have this? Oh my God. And you're always just stressing about stuff that you don't need to stress about, because at the end of the day, people are just coming to hang out to see you. And if you have food there, it's like, oh, sweet, bonus. But if you don't, they'll be like, cool, so we're just hanging out.
No, you always have to have food, man.
Yeah, food.
We got a charcuterie board in my house now. Ooh. Dude, it's been crazy owning my own place, bro. We drink with our pinkies up now. Like, it's wild.
That's the only way to do it. That's the only way to do it.
Our fine china is this like Santa Claus body paper plate that we've been eating off since the party that we threw. Dude, check this out. I don't even know if I've talked to you since then, but we threw we'll get off of this in a second, but we threw a Christmas party this year because we do Secret Santa every year with our group of friends. And I wake up that morning with back problems that I've never had, right? I have this pain in my lower back to where, like, it's not a muscle pain. It's not a nerve pain. The only thing I can explain to people is I said it feels like my kidneys hurt. Like, it feels like whatever organ is in my lower back fucking hurts. I can't rub it out. I can't stretch it out. I can't do anything. Dude, I hosted a party at my home from a futon in the basement. People walking past, I'm like, hey, how's it going? Hey, cool. I got to get up for, we're going to open presents. Cool. Make my announcement, right back to the couch, like laid out on the couch. The worst day. I drank 3 beers. I have a fucking half a keg in my garage right now from a Christmas party because and if it wasn't at my house, I'd have bailed. 100% I'd have bailed.
I mean, when you're hurt, you're hurt.
It sucked, dude. And for no reason. I didn't do anything, right? Like, it wasn't like we went out the night before for a buddy's birthday, had pizza, had a couple drinks, came home, went to bed, woke up Saturday morning at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I thought someone had beat me while I was asleep, bro. Like, we had a fucking possession happen, and they fought their way through my lower back. And woke up Sunday morning, lower back pain gone. The rest of my body was so sore I could barely walk. Like, all I did all day Saturday was try to put my body in weird places to where my back didn't hurt. Wake up Sunday, that problem's gone. A new problem has arisen. Like, the rest of I was in shambles for like 4 days. I just felt horrible, man. And I have no idea. I have no idea.
Mysteries of being in your 30s is that you'll just
everything was like, broken.
I guess it's it. I guess I'm done. And then the next thing you're like, no, we're fine now. Oh
yeah, like a good night's sleep resets. Like, it's like every night when I go to sleep, my body rolls a set of dice. And sometimes they roll really well, and then other times they're like, ooh, he's gonna have a bad day tomorrow for no reason. Like, my mind's just like, how do we fuck with him today? Like, hey, your middle toe, it's gonna be shooting pain all day. You've never stubbed it, you haven't touched it, you feel like, but yet it's gonna hurt real fucking bad. And that's what it's been like. Like, the day after I turned 30, everyone was right. Everyone said it. Your parents said it. Your people and friends that you know that have turned 30 said it. It sucks. Everything hurts. we have gone off the rails
I love it.
on where we started with Toucan's boogers. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But you had a good Christmas, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the holidays are always fun. Like, I mean, our plans for this year fell through because COVID once again kind of messed up our New Year's.
Everywhere.
The friends we were gonna go see, unfortunately, somebody came down with it, and we were like, should we not? We really had the like, Sophie's
you're
choice of like
vaccinated and everything.
and then we were just like, at the end of the day, we're like, it's better not to risk it, even though they're friends we don't get to see that often, so it would have been
That
like,
sucks.
yeah, but oh well.
See, and I'm the opposite because Daisy and I have been together over 10 years now, right? I think we may have went out on a New Year's one time. Like, our thing is we always stay home. Like, people, they'll call us, and I got a buddy that calls me every year, and he's like, are you going to blah, blah, blah for New Year? I was like, no, dude, like, of course not. And he's like, oh shit, yeah. He's like, y'all don't go out for New Year's, right? Like, all right, cool. I'll talk to you in the New Year. Have a good New Year. And this year I had to work. So they ended up doing beer pong at the bar that I do beer pong tournaments at. And it was funny because they used my beer pong as their excuse to not throw like an extravagant New Year's party, right? Which kind of worked out because it was shitty here in Colorado on New Year's.
Yeah.
And so like I went to the bar, the roads were pretty rough, still had a good crowd, had a good time, surprisingly, like turned on the TV sound when the ball dropped so we could get the New Year's Eve feel. And dude, it was kind of fun, but it was crazy because like it's the first time that I've watched the ball drop live in probably 8 or 9 years. Like we never make it to midnight. And her and I separately this year, I got home from the bar at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. She ended up staying up till like 2 o'clock in the morning. So we spent a New Year's Eve separately, right? I worked a beer pong tournament. She played Animal Crossing for most of the night. And we both made it past midnight for the first time in almost our entire 10+ year relationship. It was quite a different New Year's feel. I will say.
That's I mean, hell, that works. You guys made it. Like, one way or another, whether you fall asleep before or after, like, it's still New Year. So here we go. New Year.
Yes. Even though it's a new year, we haven't really changed the dynamic of the podcast yet. So I got some stuff I want to talk about real fast, right? So the company I work for, we've talked about it in the past. I work for an arcade company now. We have our own private arcade that it's not open to the public and you can only rent it out. But the building that I work out of has a fully functional arcade. And I have a thing for the Stranger Things pinball machine. Like, it is, in a close second, the Rick and Morty pinball machine, amazing. Mostly because the soundtrack and the quips and everything. But the Stranger Things pinball machine, for me personally, is an amazing playing pinball game. Because, like, most people that play pinball, right, and this is me included, don't realize that there is strategy to pinball. There's certain things that you do to get multi-balls or multipliers or whatever else, Mm-hmm. And Stranger Things was the first game that like I ever played for an extended time that really showed me that, right? That now when I sit at Stranger Things to play pinball, I'm like, all right, this is what I'm going to try to do. Doesn't always work out like that, but the concept is still there. I'm still playing a game at the end of the day. There's a way to win it. And at my arcade, I set the high score on fucking Stranger Things pinball, which I was stoked about. And it, like, comparatively to like Stranger Things pro players and stuff like that, I'm nowhere close, right? But for me, I have the number one high score at 162 million plus on the Stranger Things machine. To the point where I told my owner and he was like, no shit. And I was like, yeah. I was like, we don't reset those, right? He's like, no. I was like, even when we unplug them, they don't reset. He's like, no. He's like, they're saved. He's like, that's pretty good. And I was just like, yeah, I did it, dude. Like, I did it. And it was a fun ass game, right? Like, cause I felt it. Like, it was one of those times where like what is the word I'm looking for? Not inadvertently, but my body went into the pinball thing where like I'm fucking smashing the machine when I'm hitting the buttons, you know, I'm doing little fucking bumps and shit, and I'm just killing it, dude. Like not bad Santa style to where I'm like fucking the shit out of this pinball machine, right? But I'm like in it. I'm in this pinball machine. And dude, it was like, yeah, it's like that flow state, right? You just get into it. You're just like, this is where I want to be. And yeah, I set the high score on the pinball machine at our arcade. I was stoked.
That's great. That's a hell of a score. Like, you can't beat it. Nobody's ever going to beat it. It'll forever be just a crazy high score. Yeah, that's pretty good, especially on pinball. Man, I love pinball. I haven't played in a while.
I think I'm gonna be able to throw a party at my arcade.
Oh, shit.
Just keep that in the back of your head. The other thing I want to talk about real fast, because I've been really doing a lot of stuff in the computer room, especially like stuff on my computer. I've been doing a lot of updates and deletes and just like revamping my setup, right? So because I feel good. I like the way it looks right now, but I wanted it to run different. So in the meantime, I've been playing a bunch of new stuff in Xbox Game Pass. I know we've said it before, but Xbox Game Pass on the PC, on console, whatever you have it on, the best value in gaming right now, hands down, no questions asked. Get Xbox Game Pass if you have a PC or Xbox console because it's 100% worth the money. And I played a game called Slay the Spire, right?
Slay the Spire.
This is a deck building roguelike. I've heard great things about it. It was in a lot of people's Game of the Year a few years back, but it's on Game Pass. And dude, I will say, like I said, it is like a roguelike. So you play through a run. If you die in that run, you start over and you lose everything that you've accumulated through that run. There's 4 main characters to the game that you can play through. You start as like a tanky fire guy, which makes sense because that's a beast mode of a character. There's a healer. There's kind of a magic user, what I would consider the mage, and then there's a watcher. The watcher you only get after beating a full run. In the run, there's 3 acts that you have to get through. Every act has probably 15 stages. I think when I beat my first run, I had went 52 levels in 3 acts, right? Not every level is a battle. But after every battle, you get a card, you build this deck, and to get through the run. Tried to play through with all the characters except for the last one because you don't get the last one until you beat a run. And just like you would think, I beat my first run with the first character. Like, played through everything, went back to the first character because of the play style. But the art style is great. The monsters that they do, it's super simplistic game, but it's got a lot of strategy, and it was actually a lot of fun. Like I will say it was probably one of my favorite games that I played in 2021. Given the game did not come out in 2021, I had a genuine fun time playing the game. I probably put 15 hours into it in 3 days. And because we had a lot of time off in the past week, and it was genuinely a lot of fun. I think they have it. I know they have it on console. I think I'm gonna buy it physically for the Switch, because they do have a version of it for the Switch, and I like adding Switch games to my collection right now. I don't know. I love my Switch. But yeah, Slay the Spire. It's on Game Pass. I think you can play it on console too. It's not a big game for the PC. It's not graphically intense or anything like that. It's very simplistic graphics. And I highly suggest it as a Retronomipod suggestion for sure.
Cool. Yeah, the art style is very cool looking, and roguelites are always pretty fun. I like a game that you can pick up, mess around, and then, I only got an hour to play. Cool. I'm going to play this, bust out a couple of, And just like, I mean, so I've played some roguelites that don't allow you to do it, but
Slay the Spire will allow you to save. So you can come back and continue your run later. You don't have to beat it in a sitting, which is nice. Because I have played some that's like, hey, nope. Like, you either find a corner to hide in or you just give up right now. Those are your two options.
Nice.
Great game.
Cool.
Great game.
Well, since we were kind of talking about Christmas, I think we'll delve into a couple of movies that, or at least, one that we've both seen, one that you haven't watched and are saving until next year. So the first one I think we'll talk about, I'll just go through it. Home Sweet Home Alone premiered on Disney Plus a few weeks back. It lives in the same universe as all the other Homes Alones, especially the first two.
I'm sorry, the Homes Alones?
Homes Alone, yeah.
The Homes Alones?
The Homes Alones. I'm gonna
making shit up.
Pluralize everything. But yeah, I mean, they make mention to the McAllisters through the whole thing, and
so it's not a McAllister.
Nope, not at all. It's its own movie, but lives in the same kind of world.
Is it based outside of Chicago? Like, is it still a John Hughes joint?
I mean, John Hughes is dead, so that.
Yeah, you're right. You're
problematic.
Right. Okay,
but,
continue.
But no, it does live in that same kind of like suburb, probably in Chicago, and it's a little different where the villains aren't like such villains. They're just another family who are trying to make things right. It's great. It's actually better than the last 2 or 3 sequels.
Because I think it was 3 that changed the kid, right?
Yeah,
and I like that kid as like a child actor. Like, he's been good, you know. But what you're saying is the newer one isn't so much of a murder train as the older ones?
No. People still get fucked up. Like,
okay.
That aspect is still there. It's just the villains aren't so villainous. They're a little bit more sympathetic, where you're like, oh, I understand why they're doing this. It's not just because they need to get the gold or, whatever. They're like after a doll that's worth quite a bit. It's interesting. You'll like it because it's very kind of Beanie Baby-esque, where it's like, it's a rare limited edition kind of thing, and it would help change their family situation.
There's no doubt there's a couple Beanie Babies out there that I would physically fight someone for. Like, if it was like an evil villain threw one of these things into the middle of a pit and they were like, last one standing wins, I'd be down there roundhouse kicking motherfuckers like Chuck Norris, bro.
Yes, for sure, especially when you can get a grip of money for them like that.
Yeah, but
is insane.
Look, there's a problem with that, and I know that I've been meaning to I told myself that I should start selling some of my collection, right? Because like store owners and stuff will always start with selling stuff online now, right? And then eventually they get enough income to be able to open a storefront and do it physically as well as still online. So I've even told myself, I was like, maybe I should just start selling a bunch of stuff off, right? I got over 1,000 games, which in a collector's eyes, it's a lot for a normal person. It's not a lot for a true collector, right? I got too many hobbies, but I've thought about it. I've thought about doing it. I got Beanie Babies, and that's what I would start with, is like stuff like this, right? This doesn't work for the audio people, but this troll is a 1991 TNT troll. It's an original troll doll, right?
Fancy boy.
I have the matching girl for this little sailor boy. It's worth like $15, right?
They're the ugliest fucking toy ever.
They're not though, dude. They're kind of cute.
Disgusting.
Like, look at it.
It's gross,
dude. Like his little Dobby nose. Oh man, he's so cute. I mean, I can understand maybe the black eyes, right? But like, he looks innocent. Whereas like a Furby doll, like a Furby, bro. There's a reason there's no Furbies in this house, because those motherfuckers are creepy. It's the reason that I don't have an Alexa hooked up currently. And like, I love my Alexa. I'm not one of those people where I'm like, oh, the government's listening to you, because bitch, they are. I am live streaming a podcast in the home right now. All right. It's in public record. Y'all, the government knows where I live. Don't care. But when I heard the Alexas were laughing and shit in the middle of the night, I was like, oh, hell no. Not in my house, motherfucker. And I unplugged both of the Alexas that we had. I was just like, no. And they're currently sitting in storage unplugged right now because I ain't dealing with it. I'm not dealing with that kind of voodoo in my house, dude. Once the AI gets sentient, like we're having a real fucking problem.
It's see, those things don't bother me. I think that stuff's just hilarious. So like my kid will actually be like, Alexa, play cleanup music while she's picking up, or whatever. So
I love the concept of them, but like I said,
we're in
I will shoot it. I will shoot it at 3:00 in the morning because she's laughing in the kitchen unprovoked. And it's not unprovoked because that's what my mind says. So the only way to fix it is to murder it. And I can murder an Alexa, not Alexa, but an Alexa. I can murder it.
Just be careful not to present your
my Ouija board's in the garage.
That troll doll with any clothing, or else it might run away from you.
I know we've talked about it on the podcast before too, but my Ouija board has yet to come physically into the house.
That doesn't surprise me.
It's only stayed in the garage. I've lived in this house for 4 months now. It's only stayed in the garage.
You should make like a in case of emergency break glass thing and put the fucking Ouija board in it and like hang it up in your garage.
Dude, I love you so much sometimes. I just like sometimes you just make my fucking body warm. Daisy and I talked about this, and we were gonna make a shadow box case for it and put in case of possession with a little hammer and a glass front. And we're gonna put the Ouija board in. We figured if we glorified it, like it wouldn't be so bad, right? We were just like, we understand. We own the Ouija board. This is what it's for. And just in case of possession, with the little hammer break, and then you break it open and get the Ouija board out. If you need it. Only if you need it.
Absolutely only
it is
if
not a game.
You've tried everything else and you're like, what, let's try talking to the motherfucker. Maybe we can convince it. You don't want this body.
Yeah, you don't want us. I don't care if you stay here. Stop fucking my shit up. Like, please just stop fucking my shit up. I want to sleep, go to bed, do this shit when I'm at work, fuck with my dog. That's fine. I don't want you to fuck with my dog because you'll fuck my shit up too. But just stop fucking my shit up. That's all I'm asking. It's not, I'm not asking a lot.
Home Sweet Home Alone is on Disney Plus. So if you, I recommend it. I think it's good for a watch. Like, I think it stands up. It's not as good as the originals, but it's also better than the sequel. So I think check it out for yourself.
That's an interesting way to put that, by the way, because like even the third one, I didn't think was like that bad. It was unnecessary versus how good we think the first two are. But to hear you say that it was better than that one makes me kind of excited because I didn't watch it. But I want to now.
Well, you've got a year to prep some popcorn to watch.
Yeah, dude, even holidays, man. Like our movie watching, do you guys like have certain traditions that you do? Like for us, like Thanksgiving to Christmas, right? It's Christmas time in our house.
Yeah.
Like we're watching only Christmas movies. Like I didn't even get to watch the second and third John Wick, right? Because anytime we sat down to watch a movie, it was a Christmas fucking movie. And our Christmas movie watching this year was so messed up compared to like previous years. Like even our Christmas tradition things were still like, but it also never felt like Christmas this year. I don't know why. Like it was unseasonably warm. Yeah. It just didn't feel like Christmas. But everything was so messed up. But I did get through all 7 Harry Potters, or 8, I guess, technically, which normally we don't get through because we get backlogged on all the other, but like Christmas Day, we watched Elf and all 3 Santa Clauses just so we can make sure to get them in. All we did, bro, we opened presents. We went to lunch at like my great-grandmother's house, my step-great-grandmother's house. And then we came home and literally just sat around and ate all day while watching every Santa Claus movie they ever made.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, we do the elves on the shelves. We for Christmas Day at the house, tradition is we'll let the Christmas Story play just play over and over and over. That's the only movie that gets watched while anything's happening.
Okay.
Because it's such a great background movie because there's so many good parts that you could dip into and be like, oh shit, he's shooting the robbers. That's fucking great.
We watched it at the Christmas party I threw. Like put it on in the background, subtitles and all. Was just like let it roll.
There's just so many good parts. So that's a big one for me. You know, Santa stuff and all the others.
Let me ask you a question, and we'll either end this podcast forever, depending on your answer. All right. But you have children.
I do.
When do you guys open presents?
Christmas Eve we go over to the grandparents' house and they get gifts there. Yep. And then Christmas morning, it's kind of the first thing before anything else is generally the.
Okay.
But we didn't do that this year because we were so busy.
That's what I was going to bring up.
We were up so late on Christmas Eve that like Christmas Day we woke up and we're like, oh shit, we got to get to the grandparent house or the great grandparent house. So we left and we didn't open gifts until after, which meant that it was mid-afternoon and we were like, this is fucked. It's all thrown off.
Because the reason I bring this up, right, is because I was texting your other half about a gift that you were getting, and
fucking good.
Yeah, it was awesome. She did such a great job. Here's
a prototype of it.
Oh, I know. I want one so bad, bro. We'll be lucky if that's not tattooed on me. If that's not the thing tattooed on me. But she had mentioned something about you guys just opening presents. And I like remember looking at my phone and it being like 3:00. And I was like, this motherfucker doesn't let his kids open presents first thing in the morning. Like, are you kidding me? Like, not the kind of person I thought you were. So it is very nice to hear that you are not that type of person.
No.
And it's just 2021 suck dick for everybody. Good things happened. It was just a fucking shit year still.
It just threw everything off, you know, just everything was just, but that's fine. I mean, one way or another, these kids still got to do it. We got to open it up, you know, like the finished project of this, I'll have to take a picture and post it up on the old page. So that way people could check out the final, cause it is and the amount of work that surprisingly went into it. Cause we got her a Cricut a while ago, I think for her birthday or something. And like she just broke it out for this project to be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna play around with that. I'm like, okay, cool. She's finally getting to it, not realizing what she's working on, and find out your ass is involved too. It's like, oh, I kind of like that. Oh, this is or whatever you guys are talking about. And
when
I'm like,
she showed me, I was like, this is amazing. Like this is fantastic. It's a new logo sticker that she made, but it's a stand-up arcade with our BFC can and the D20s, man. Oh, she did such a good job.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. I love our setup, but that new one, it really does it for me. It does it for me.
If we were to update that
we
might be
will
the
have
one
to. We could use it for something for sure. I use it for the Instagram picture.
Yeah.
But definitely post that. You guys can follow the Facebook page or group. Go to the group and then follow the page.
But the other movie we got to talk about is 8-Bit Christmas, which was actually one that you watched as well. So it just came out this year, brand spanking new. It's got NPH, old Neil Patrick Harris. He's playing an adult. Basically goes over the story of like one Christmas he really wanted a Nintendo, and it kind of goes through like what he had to do to finally get the gift that he wanted. It stars Steve Zahn in it, who plays his dad when he was a kid. Like, it's just one of those great like feel good movies. And it's solid. But yeah, check it out. It's great. It's I don't know. How did you feel about? What did you think of this crazy HBO Max exclusive 8-bit Christmas
Oh,
movie.
hello, little bear.
Yeah, little bear decided to come pay us a visit.
Oh man, this little dude has so much hair. Holy crap.
It's like
yeah, just so much hair.
I'm jealous of that boy.
No, 8-bit Christmas. So this was interesting, right? Because it's an HBO original, if I remember right, and it was nothing what I expected. I will leave with that. What I thought the movie was going to be turned out completely different.
Yeah.
And I'll lead into it with saying that, like, everyone that had watched it before me said it was great, right? It's got Neil Patrick Harris in it as a dad, nonetheless. And he is super dad-like now. Like, that man is turning into the dad of dads.
Oh, yeah.
And I will say, like, towards the end and the way that the ending, and no spoilers here, because you should definitely watch it 1,000 times over. But not what I expected happened at the end. And, like, the whole ending sequence, bro. I looked at Daisy and I was like, I'm getting sensitive. Like, I'm about to bawl my eyes out right now because this shit hit me so hard just out of left field, man. Like, I will say, it was everything that everyone told me it was going to be. I heard nothing but good things about it. And after getting through it, I will hands down suggest it, and I will watch it as long as it's streaming and I own HBO. Like, that'll be it'll be a Christmas movie. It was an instant classic for Christmas movies for me. Like, it checked the boxes that I needed it to.
Oh yeah, but it also does things that like subvert your expectations to it, where like it doesn't follow your typical like Christmas movie where it's all happy jolly and everybody, it all works out in the end, kind of thing. It just, I like the twist. I like that it didn't follow the path. I like that the kids are kids in this. Like, I'll say one thing about it because it doesn't really ruin anything. But there's the one kid on the block who's rich, kind of has money as opposed to everybody else.
Not kind of like he's balling.
He's choosing kids to come play, or no, not play. Just watch him play a Nintendo.
The lead in is exactly. 10 kids get chosen daily to come in and play Nintendo, because he has the Nintendo. But once they get in, the playing is on the back burner immediately. Yeah. I mean, everything about that movie was nothing what I expected it to be. Like, I expected exactly what you said, like, to go in and it's like, jolly, something happens, comeback story, Christmas is saved, right? And it was that in its own way, but it wasn't anything that I have ever seen been done before when it comes to like a classic Christmas movie, Plus, it's based around Nintendo, like in a perfect time and probably one of the greatest years of all time, would be just 1985. Like, I wasn't born yet, but we were getting closer.
It's a fantastic film. Highly recommend that one. That one's definitely on the list of like rewatches come this time next year, a little before this time next year.
Yeah. I'm one of those people, and I swear I feel like we've talked about this last year on our Christmas episode too. But the minute Christmas is over, I want all the Christmas shit on my face. like
fuck your shit.
December 26th, get that shit out my face. All right, put it all back in the tub, and so like our basement's still a little Christmassy, but our upstairs is completely taken down, right? And I love it. Like, I felt like I haven't seen this house since we moved in. It's just been Christmas all the time since we moved in, and now that it's like back to normal, I'm like, this is good. Wait, we're good with this.
I did. There's this question that got posited. I don't know where I heard this, but like, if Santa knows who's naughty or nice, did he know Rudolph was being bullied?
So there's an easy answer for me, right? Only the kids get presents, dude. The reindeer don't fucking get presents. All right, so it doesn't matter if they're assholes, because they're not getting. You're getting some oats and let's go. Only the kids get presents. And I didn't see no baby. baby goats. That was a knee slide. Come on, that was a joke that lined up through you. I channeled that joke through you. Fuck. I mean, just...
So out of a pure loophole, the fact that it's not a human, this poor reindeer is getting
yeah,
bullied underneath Santa's watch.
Look, Rudolph is the first like reindeer to get appreciation, I think. Like,
that's
and
true
he
too.
did it after getting his ass kicked and in a storm. And we all know how it is driving in the snow. We drive all the time. It's not fun. And Rudolph was just like, yeah, fuck this shit. Like, y'all want to make fun of me, and just saved Christmas. The other reindeer, they're just assholes. They're like, God damn, everything I wanted to say there was just going to go against people that do work like me. Yeah, they're just assholes. Let's play it safe.
Huh.
That would be the logical answer, right?
Hey.
Or Santa just hated Rudolph because he was different. And at the end of the day, he's just like, comment. He's like, go kick him in the dick. Comment. I'll put you in spot 2. Go kick him in the dick.
Okay, Santa, I'm gonna do it for you.
And he just donkey kicks him like right.
Hey, Rudolph, your nose isn't going to be the only thing red. Jingle balls.
What if Rudolph thought he was better than everyone? Like, what if... I'm sure this has been brought up, but like, what if Rudolph was an asshole?
Walking around with his nose up in the air like, oh, I can light up the night sky, motherfucker. Blah, blah, blah. And the rest of the reindeer are like, fuck this fucking coward, am I right? He ain't better than us. He ain't better than shit.
I mean...
Red nose, more like brown nose, am I right?
All right, so I don't think the red helps that much, I'm one of those people that I like bright white light when I'm driving through, or low light, I don't know, fog lights, but they're never red, right? And this fool has a bright red nose. It's just like, oh, cool, Rudolph, like, you made it more ominous. Like, now we're just gonna die in style.
That's spooky shit the whole way there.
Yeah, man, that's some Silent Hill color flying through the clouds,
Sorry, it just made me think of another thing. So, like, if Santa, like, what if, like, Santa expends all this magic to, make it happen Christmas Eve? He's delivering gifts, he's getting them out. But, like, what if that, like, once he delivers that last package, it's gone? So he has to make his way back up to the North Pole. So the whole reason why he can only do it once a year is because the rest of the time he's just trying to travel back up via reindeer and sled back up to the North Pole.
Like his reindeer can't fly anymore.
It's like, oh, we're spent.
He's on a 6-month trek, like Iditarod racing through the fucking north.
He's down in the whatever the furthest time zone is. He's just like, all right, time to make our way back, and they slowly are cliffing it.
Other stupid questions that we shouldn't ask ourselves. But do you think that the reputation of Santa being in the North Pole has caused a bad reputation for the South Pole? Because we just don't give a fuck about the South Pole. It's like, like we just like, well, that's cool, but it's not the North Pole. You fucking ass. Do you think it's because of the reputation? Like the poles, one of them has penguins, one of them doesn't, right? So you're already at a loss. Yeah. And I'm not even going to begin to speculate on which one's which because at this point I don't know. But one of them doesn't have penguins. One of them does.
I mean, that can't help.
Yeah.
I imagine it's the North Pole, right?
Yeah, because it just seems better. Because that's what we've been taught. Right. Is it's the better pole of the two poles. The South Pole can go suck a big fat dick. Like, it just... Yeah. Anyways, we shouldn't.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, this is a next year Toby problem.
Yeah. We'll let them figure it out in the future.
So I kind of talked to you, right? Not a lot of news being at the end of the year, and we wanted to do something a little different. And as we've made very clear on this podcast and show a bunch of times, I'm not very good with movies, right? But I'm pretty good with video games. And I threw out the suggestion to you that I want to talk about some like game and movie of the year stuff, right?
Absolutely.
And you actually have a little podcast surprise. I think we'll throw that at the end. But I will easily start with games because guess what? Just like history would tell us, I didn't watch anything. I didn't watch anything. I watched 8-Bit Christmas. It's my movie of the year.
You did it.
But I just want to talk about some video games for a bit because as much as we love to talk about games and stuff, I feel like I don't get to do it very often, but it's mostly my own fault, right? Because like I'm just bad at doing stuff that I'm supposed to do. Like I show up to work every day, right? Because it gets stuff for me. But I did want to talk because we did play some games this year, and I kind of want to hear your opinion. Even though I really have this gut feeling that you and I played two totally different lists of games.
I'm trying to think what I played this year, but
Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that was this year, I think.
That was a big one, but it came out last year. Or did it come out this year?
No, it did not come out this year.
That was last year. That's right.
Off
to a great start.
We'll go through this list like semi quick. But I just want to poke at a couple of these because it didn't feel like it, but it was a pretty good year for video games. Mm-hmm. And just to go through some honorable mentions real fast, Mario Golf Super Rush, one of the first YouTube videos we put up on our Retronomipod channel, that came out this year, and people said a lot of bad things about it, and it wasn't that bad for me. Like I actually had a lot of fun with Super Rush. I'll still break it out and play it from time to time if people are down and we're drunk and don't want to play anything, fancier, right? That came back out in June, so it's like right mid-year. And in fact, I think it is my newest game in general. Second, Pokemon Unite. That was the Pokemon MOBA. That kind of came out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
Did not think that we needed that. I needed that. The Pokemon Unite, and now I think you can play it on mobile now too, and I probably will never mess with it on my phone. I'm not a phone game player. Play games on your phone?
Not ones that are big deals like that. I usually play like 3 match games like Pop Blitz or stuff that's super like not
like almost a meditation game.
Yeah.
In a way. I'm the same way. I can't play like, oh, this game's supposed to be really good for your phone. Like, no, it's not, bitch. Unless it's like Finish the Water Pipe or, Clash Royale. I'm not playing it. And even that, I'm bad at playing. I'll play like heavy for 4 days and then I'll forget about it just consistently. Mario Golf, Pokemon Unite, Back 4 Blood. Back 4 Blood was something we talked about on the podcast quite a bit. And it is the Left 4 Dead successor for the zombies. Fantastic game. People have their problems with it too. Don't necessarily read reviews. Just play it for yourself. First person zombie killing awesomeness. Forza Horizon 5, which I think we talked about a couple weeks ago. But I'm a sucker for arcade racers and random shit like that. Forza was great. If you have a PC, it's even better, especially if you have a powerful PC, because god damn it, that game looks amazing. It looks amazing. But Forza I had to put on there. I had a lot of Switch games, right? Cruisin' Blast I have to throw on there because Cruisin' USA and everything about that game was exactly what I needed it to be for the $30 game that it was. Cruising. What's funny is Cruising Blast released as an arcade game, and in the arcade at work, we have Cruising Blast machines that are like 4-player Cruising Blast machines. Cruising came out for the Switch in September, but the arcade game came out in 2017. So it's been out for a while. I've never seen it. The first time I saw it was when I started the new arcade job. And they had the machines. And I was like, no shit. Like, they made it a fucking an arcade game too. But it was already an arcade game since 2017, which means our arcades suck and we don't have anything good. But those are the honorable mentions, right? And it's weird because the game that I'm going to choose for my game of the year, I haven't played nearly enough. And it was tough to not choose like a Cruising Blast as my game of the year because I played the shit out of that. But the game of the year for me was Halo. Halo Infinite released this year. And it's weird because like I haven't played as much of it as I would like to say that I have, but it was everything that I needed a Halo to be at the perfect time. And it's crazy because to think they delayed that game a year. Like it was supposed to come out at the end of 2020.
Yeah.
And they were like, nope. Like
No.
we pushing this off for a while. And eventually it came. Like just as 2021 came and went, like that game came. And it was just like, oh shit. And then they released it a week early. They were just like, oh, boom, we're just gonna release it now. We think it's fine. And it was. It was as good as any Halo's been since Halo 3 for me.
Yeah.
And I'm still waiting on the campaign.
They did an incredible job. Like I started playing the campaign and the new, I don't know if they're new characters that they introduced is very cool. Like they seem powerful. You're like, oh, okay, we got a new threat. And like the multiplayer, I mean, it's fantastic. I don't play many, first person shooter multiplayers, but it was great. Like every time you would get an achievement, like you're like, holy crap, I did that.
Yeah.
I'm like a mid-level character. I'm not the worst, but I'm certainly not the best. Like, so, and all the different kind of different, I didn't realize there was so many different matchmaking game modes, whatever you call it. Like it's insane.
Well, and they just came out with like the OG playlist or whatever. Like Slayer finally has its own map set now, which they always had. What sucks is like for me, most of the people that I play with are like competitive players. A bunch of them have been doing the tournaments and stuff that Halo's had. And I'm so used to playing with like battle rifle starts in multiplayer that we only play ranked. And like the ranked playlist was very okay.
Yeah.
And but it was the way to play it for us at least, because like starting with the assault rifle and stuff it was never any fun. It's like I want to shoot you with a battle rifle and a pistol. Like give me that and then let me collect weapon.
Yeah.
And I'm putting this as my game of the year without touching the campaign yet.
Oh wow.
It sucks and I want to play it, do not get me wrong, and who knows, maybe I will before the co-op comes out, but the co-op still does not have a release date to be able to play that campaign with friends. And that's how Halo campaigns are meant to be played, is with friends in a night of let's get drunk or stoned or whatever and run through all these fucking, these levels. So that, but back to the beginning, like it is my game of the year because it was what we needed from the Halo franchise, a game that has defined my gaming career forever. Between Halo and World of Warcraft, there's not games that I've played for longer periods of time, and they've been through my formative years as well as deep into adulthood now. I'm still playing that same franchise, and it was what we wanted from a Halo game to feel good about Halo, because if they didn't do well, we would have lost Halo.
Yeah, it was kind of a it really seemed like a do or die, especially, you're such a huge fan of it and like just stuff online about it, like, oh, is this the final nail in the coffin of Halo? And it's like, oh, I didn't know they were that close to actually like losing themselves, so to speak.
Yeah, 343 has become in the crosshairs, to say the least, because once Bungie got rid of like the Halo franchise, like Bungie
Yeah.
jumped into Destiny, like 343, they do good work, don't get me wrong, but they in my opinion, this is my personal opinion, right? This does not reflect the opinions of everyone on this podcast or anybody else that I may know. But they tried to advance a very simple gameplay system that didn't need advancing. Like, people enjoyed the system for what it was, not for what it could do, right? The campaigns were always amazing, but Halo multiplayer is, in all rights, a very simplistic first person shooter. Like, it is slow and like arcadey in a way that still works. And like with some of the newer games, they tried to add in hero powers and shield defenses and dodges and this and like these weird little things, to the point where like I can understand why they're doing it. And the only thing that legitimately works in the game is something that they kept with Halo Infinite, and that's tactical sprint. And it was the one thing that Halo did not have, like back in the day. Like, it was a slower paced game because of it. And in Infinite, they kept tactical sprint, but still made it relevant to gameplay in general. And that was impressive, and it was awesome. And they got rid of all the bullshit. They trimmed the fat, as they say. And now it's fantastic. Fantastic game.
Yeah, it is. It is really great. Let's see. Some quick honorable mentions for me for games that we played throughout the year. Alien Fireteam Elite.
It's on the list.
It's okay.
I heard.
I mean, it's super online based. It's super kind of all over the place. Let's see. Marvel's Avengers, that came out last year, but we've been playing that throughout. Hades, I played that this year. Super great.
Hades is amazing.
Is great. Psychonauts 2. Fantastic sequel to a game that came out like 15 years ago.
Yes.
Like,
original Xbox game.
Great. Like,
yep. I've heard nothing but good things. It's on the list to play as well. Another Game Pass.
Yeah.
If you have Game Pass, play it. You can play it right now.
Let's see, Destroy All Humans. They did like a remake up version of it.
Very good. We streamed a little bit of that this past year.
Very well done. The D&D Dark Alliance, I touched a little bit of it. It's
biggest
a real
disappointment of 2021 games that we were hyped for.
Just kind of a letdown, unfortunately. But game of the year for me is the one that I just got for Christmas and have not been able to put it down. Is the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Okay. The
soundtrack is phenomenal. It's all 80s stuff. They went and created a band called Star Lord that works in the lore of Peter Quill. And their music is like heavy metal of that era, which adds to this soundtrack a layer that is just like, this is spectacular.
But good things.
It's pretty straightforward narrative play where you can go explore, but there's not much of it. I mean, the only things you're finding are little upgrade things that you could do to your abilities.
It's a pretty linear storyline.
I love it for that aspect that it's like, here's what you're doing. Just follow the path. And like, and the combat system at first I was like, really? You can't play as Groot? You can't play as Rocket? And then once you kind of see how it works with like the team tactic dynamics where you get to choose your character and they have special abilities that you can womp up on the enemy. God, everything about it is so surprising because most superhero games are not great, but the fact that this one,
I mean, and after the Avengers flop, like that was the thing, right? Because like Avengers has gotten better and it's on the list to play too. I have it downloaded right now. Another Game Pass game. But Guardians of the Galaxy kind of came out of left field, and from what I've heard, it really like exceeded expectations. Like, well beyond expectations for what that game was supposed to be. Like everything once you get over the voice acting, if it not being who you think it's supposed to be because of the movies, of course.
Yeah.
I've heard that the facial expressions, the engine that they used in that game was great. The storyline is actually very intriguing, and you know to love characters. And like you said, you don't get to play as the other characters. You only get to play as Peter Quill. But because of that, the storyline that they gave a bunch of the other people, like I've heard nothing but good things about Drax and Rocket. They said that you actually get in and invest yourself into their storylines, which is good to hear because it was not supposed to be that kind of game. Like, and it's in a lot of people's like top 3 games of the year right now.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. Like, it is so, like, at first it is like, oh, okay, so we're not doing the movie version, which I'm okay with, but it's not quite following the comics. It's kind of doing its own little thing, which is kind of grand.
Yeah.
But using these characters that by now everybody knows and loves, and it's set in this universe, and there are shots in this game that are just like, holy crap, that is, put that up on a big screen, you know, like. It's, and the narrative, like, or the what are they, the dialogue trees where you have to choose, like, okay, who are you gonna side with in this, because they're still like just started Guardians. Like, oh my gosh, it's
I heard it was fantastic. That's interesting because I didn't even think about that game, right? Because it's just not on like my list of things to buy currently. So that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Even you're playing on an Xbox, I assume.
Xbox One,
and it seems to run fine. Like, you having any issues with it?
All in all, it's running pretty good. Like, there's some glitchy bits here and there, and like voices won't sync up quite right. But I don't know if that's just because it's my.
It could
Xbox,
be the launch edition Xbox. It could be
just, you know, like there's so many things. It could just be where.
With that being said, I had one game that I put on my honorable mention that I have not played. And I have to throw it on there because I know the minute I get to play it, and it could be this year, it could be 3 years from now, and that's Ratchet and Clank. All the videos and everything I've watched, because Ratchet and Clank is by far my favorite like game series of all time, right? That the Ratchet and Clank series on PS2 is what made me fall in love with beating single player narratives. And action platformers, whatever you want to call them. I put Ratchet and Clank on the list because I know from what I've seen, what I've heard, that the minute I get my hands on that game, it is just going to be fucking Boner City.
Yeah.
So I had to throw it on the list. I had to throw it on the list. Before we get off of the games, and I don't know if you had any for this because I just kind of threw in at the last minute. But I brought up some games that I'm kind of looking forward to in 2022. Right? First and foremost, coming out in February, it's what they're saying right now. I doubt it's going to come out in February. The new Evil Dead game. Stoked about that.
It's gearing up to be better than originally. I think we both were like, oh, it's just a Dead by Daylight ripoff. But the more we see of it, the more it's like, there's a whole lot more to it.
Evil Dead has a lot of good games out there. Like, I have a PS2 Evil Dead game called Fistful of Boomstick.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Great game. And I plan on playing through that at some point this year. I meant to play it last year for Halloween, but again, we're not going to talk about it anymore. But the Evil Dead game. Had to throw it on the list because of what we are and who we are in this podcast. Because it's fucking Ash. Next up, and I'll just touch on it a little bit, but Destiny 2 has their new expansion coming out in February. And we play a lot of Destiny 2, surprisingly. Not as much as some, but more than others. That's the Witch Queen expansion. Everything on that looks great. We'll see how it changes the online multiplayer, because Destiny, at its base core game, is an amazing fucking game. It's a first-person shooter RPG. Fantastic. It checks the boxes, right? And it's done by Bungie, former creators of Halo. But I threw that on there. Dying Light 2, I am actually kind of stoked for. I don't know if you played the first Dying Light, but it's a first-person zombie, like, crafting survival game. It does have a linear story, but it is open world. And Dying Light 2 it's been rumored for, I don't know, 5 years or something now. Like it's been in the works for a long time, but that finally comes out. That's another February drop.
Damn.
Yeah, a lot of stuff coming out in February. Dying Light 2 is last on that list of things that I'm going to end up playing first, though.
Sure.
So I'm hoping, I know Dying Light 2 will not be on like Game Pass, but I'm hoping something like Evil Dead or something pops up on sale pretty early. Destiny 2 is a free-to-play game, but all the expansions cost you money. I already own all the other expansions, so dropping the 20 or $30 on Destiny 2 will happen because we're going to want to play through that story. The next one has been delayed already.
Damn it. Son of a bitch.
It's been delayed to 2022 without a release date yet. So they're saying to be determined 2022. Yep. I imagine this is a holiday release. I don't think that we'll see it any sooner than like October. And if they were smart on a marketing sense, they would wait for that holiday release because it matches perfectly. Because that's Hogwarts Legacy. That is the Harry Potter RPG. I need it. I need it so bad. I need it so Rick. I need it. I need it. And I hope it comes out during like the Christmas time because what a perfect fucking time to play through a goddamn Harry Potter RPG than during Christmas when I'm watching all the beautiful, awesome Harry Potter movies. Super stoked for Hogwarts Legacy. Like I said.
Yeah, that looks, the more I see on that thing, it looks like, oh, if they do this right, this is going to be next level.
It's going to be fucking cool, man.
That's everything you want. You want to be in that world. You are in that world.
It's I want to be a wizard with Harry. I want Hagrid to bust down my step parents' door and be like, "You're a wizard, Toby," and I'll be like, "Fucking take me with you, strange man. Let's go, Wingardium Leviosa."
It's Leviosa. Oh, shouldn't have said that.
Please. I got two more. Just like Hogwarts Legacy, this one's like big. They say it's coming out in January, which is actually earlier than I expected, considering that Pokemon Diamond and Pearl just re-released. But Pokemon Legends Arceus, however they pronounce it. Look, I should I say any more, right? I'm a Pokemon fan. Y'all know this. We know this. The world knows this. I love my Pokemon. This is a Pokemon third-person RPG. And not in the way that the games are. This is an open world. You are the Pokemon trainer. You're not playing as someone else. And you're in Pokemon World. It's an open world Pokemon RPG.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. More of that. But
get it.
More of that. Let's do that.
Do it.
We're stoked for that. They're saying that's going to come out in January. I've been kind of keeping off of that train just because I'm not a big fan of disappointment. But a lot of disappointment in the last year.
Expectations low.
Yes. I assume I'm not getting anything until I get it. And last on the list, something we're very excited for that was announced this year, but that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. That is the 32-bit beat 'em up. Yeah. It's original story. It looks amazing. You want to wait. Fuck it. This is how we're about to start 2022, right? All right. Fuck it. Limited run, right? We're gonna we're gonna fucking do it right now. That is how I feel. We're gonna get TMNT, right? I just have this feeling that they're not gonna release it physically, first party or third party or whatever. And that the only way we're gonna get a physical copy of this game is through limited run. Right? I have ordered multiple things from limited run in 2021. Okay. I've broke for years. Fuck this place. I hate this place. I've said it since day one of the fucking podcast. I swear to God. It sucks. All right. I don't want that in my personal feelings to take away from the fact that they put out dope shit. They put out cool ass shit. And because it's limited, it makes it cooler, right? Especially with COVID and everything happening, the collector's market just went berserk. It's you can't even keep track of it anymore. I ordered my Castlevania collector's edition from Limited Run at the beginning of June, like June 3rd or something, or June 7th. It is still in production. It has a hopefully first quarter of 2022 ship date. Yeah. With this being said, there are physical copies of that Castlevania limited run out, so they will not ship your product until it's complete, right? I bought a box set that we've talked about this once before, but it has a bunch of stuff, right? I cannot fucking wait. I cannot fucking wait. But it is still in production. What's that? 6 months? So almost 7 months later.
Yeah.
Still in production. I'm hoping to get that beginning of next year. I got an email like a month and a half ago that they were re-releasing some Turok 1 and 2 box sets, but only for the PS4, right? I missed the sell on it for the Switch, which is what I would have wanted it on. And I probably will still buy it eventually. And you can buy them in like the N64 boxes, or you can buy them as a package deal. They made really cool stuff for the Turok series. And like I've said previously on the podcast, I'm a huge Turok fan. Top 3 series, hands down. I ordered it in September, and it hasn't even started production yet. It's still, and I ordered it thinking like, oh, they have extras, right? Like they're not just gonna remake this, like they're just sitting on this many extras of this game, and they're not. They're just remaking them completely. So if that were the case, I wouldn't have bought them, because I don't want to wait for PS4 versions of Turok games. And now not only am I getting those, but I'm also going to end up buying the Switch version because that's where I want it anyway. But I think for the Switch ones, I'll end up buying the N64 box set, where they both come in their own N64 remake boxes, which is cool because that's where we played them.
A lot of cool shit, man. I've got some more that I'd want to throw on that list of things that like just kind of looking through and seeing what's coming out that like kind of has me excited. Sonic Frontiers, I'm kind of excited to see what that'll be all about.
Is that for release in 2022?
Quarter 4. No, like
okay,
sort of like
so
Hogwarts.
we're looking at holiday end of the year.
Open world Sonic possibly, which might be cool, may not. We don't know until we try. You know, Marvel's Midnight Suns, which basically is like the dark side of the Marvel universe, where you get in this game, you'll be able to play as Ghost Rider and Blade. Those are kind of the big 2 that stand out for me because it's cool, fucking ghosty, spooky stuff. Lord of the Rings Golem, more I see on that. Looks like it's going to be a fun sneak.
I figured you'd put that on your list.
And then Gotham Knights, which is basically Batman's gone, so like his sidekicks step up to the plate to defend Gotham City. Looks badass.
Interesting.
And last but not least, of course, is God of War Ragnarok. That God of War game was such a phenomenal game. From where it was as a hack and slash to where it is now, spectacular. So hopefully if they continue with what we've seen of this game, it's going to be next level. So
if I remember right, they just put God of War on PC. So I think I can play it on PC now, because I have yet to play that game and I've been wanting to, because I've heard nothing but great things about it. And Ragnarok looks fucking sick. Like it's the same reason, and you and I've talked about it a bunch, but it's the same reason that like I've never been super attracted to Assassin's Creed games, but Valhalla, like the whole Viking background is, put it in front of me and I'm gonna nom. Yeah, because that's what we want. Those storylines are never bad.
Go around and beat up a whole bunch of mythological creatures and gods and everything. It's like,
Yep.
how fun is this?
Yeah.
It's even more fun when you're like, I know that one.
Sign me up.
Continuing along with our fun list, should we jump into movies or?
Yeah, let's look. Like I said in the beginning of this, I don't have a lot for movies. I'm here for color commentary, and shit that pops into my head that I can interrupt you with. So
This is in no particular order for the ones. I do have one that I'm going to be like, that's the best movie of the year. But that one, of course, would be last. So the first up, The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn.
okay.
He took this franchise and put it in a new direction that seems fun. I mean, hell, he even has a spin-off series coming like in a week or two called Peacemaker, based off of one of the characters from it. Fantastic. Highly recommend that one. It's on HBO, if I remember correctly. Go check that one out because it is great. Let's see. We've got Free Guy, Ryan Reynolds.
I need to see it so bad. I know I'm gonna love it.
It's going to be on Disney Plus in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
So
That's what they've been saying.
I'll let you know. It's fantastic. I mean, they just figured out the video game logic so well in it and was able to add comedy to it. That it's great. Highly recommend.
I'm ready for that one.
And here we go with all the Marvel movies that finally got released this year. Black Widow, fantastic farewell to the character that we know and love. 8-Bit Christmas, we mentioned that one already. And these are I'm only going through ones that I've seen. I know there's a bunch of movies that came out this year that were great.
Yes.
From what I've heard, like Ghostbusters is supposed to be great.
It's the reason I don't have much to say in this category because God forbid I watch a movie that comes out in the year that I'm in.
Red Notice. Let's throw all these big stars together. Dwayne
Red
Johnson.
Notice is Ryan Reynolds too, right? Sorry.
Ryan Reynolds, Dwayne Johnson, and Gal Gadot just playing like these weird thieves, which it's fun. It
Gal
does
Gadot
twist.
is Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman. We got Deadpool, Wonder Woman, and Black Adam all in one movie, so that's kind of fun.
Awesome.
Let's see what's next. I didn't write these down. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Surprising on that one, considering he's a character that is like lesser known than even some of the ones they've released. So like very well done.
I've actually heard surprising things about that one.
Yeah, the kung fu in it is kung fu. It's what you want it to be when you're talking about like.
No,
if he's supposed to be the best fighter, he should be a best fighter. So, and they've already announced they're doing a sequel to that one. All the cast directors coming back to do it up. So that is exciting. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Finally got to watch this one. Venom's a weird that lives in a world all its own, but it doesn't, but it does.
Are these? I'm sorry to interrupt. I mean, I though. Are the Venom movies canon in the MCU, or just like Spider-Man, does Sony own the Venom rights as well? So they're keeping it out of the MCU for the time being.
Oh, this gets into real spoilery territory, but I don't care.
I know No Way Home's got integration within the MCU.
Yeah, so basically within the multiverse of the Marvel films. No Way Home. So yes, he's a part of it, but no, he isn't. He's in his own multiverse. And there's theories that like maybe he might be Andrew Garfield's Venom, if that makes sense. The Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah. He might be his Venom, and that's why we haven't seen him with Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Which look, I will say Tom Holland's Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire, close second, because that's what we grew up with. That's what introduced us to live action Spider-Man. Amazing. Don't get me wrong. Tom Holland was meant to play Spider-Man.
He's the boy. He's Peter. He is Peter Parker.
He is Peter Parker. He's just cute as shit. He's got this boyish charm and this goofiness that he gets to add to Peter, which is what he needed. It's not all angsty teenage Tobey Maguire. You know, Tom Holland is my Spider-Man. It's the same thing that we've talked about in the past where Robert Downey Jr. is my Iron Man.
He is Iron Man.
My Iron Man.
You son of next up, Dune. Timothy Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Zendaya, Oscar Isaac, HBO, all that madness that came along with it. Fantastic movie. This lives in my head in a spot that I didn't expect it to. It's very much like
interesting.
The things they do in it makes you realize how much stuff Star Wars borrowed from this particular book. That's how this, insane comparison. It is. They've got these like flying ships in it that look like dragonflies. It is the coolest spacecraft I've ever seen, hands down. But this movie's great. Everybody in it is great. Like the fact that it got pushed, you're like, oh, that sucks. But then you realize, oh, no, that's okay because it's such a phenomenal film. And there's times where I will just find myself thinking about that movie, just excited for what's going to happen in part 2 of this film. Like, so highly recommend that. That one's on the list.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look.
Let's see, what else did we see this year that we want to talk about? Encanto, the latest from Disney. Super fantastic. Like,
go ahead, I'm gonna add something to the end of this.
It's a very cool story about like everybody's special in their own way, and it's very good message for kids and just general adults for that matter too. Like, check this one out. It's fun and it's dark at points, so highly recommend this one.
Just because you added an animated one, right? I don't watch many movies. Daisy and I sat down to watch a movie the other night, and I let her choose because most of the time I'm gonna fall asleep anyway. And she chooses a movie called Rumble.
Oh yeah, we watched that one.
Did you watch this? Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to touch base on it real fast. It's a Paramount original, I believe. And it is a Pixar-esque monster wrestling movie. It's like Monster UFC. And I will say there were pieces of the story where I'm like, you guys haven't written a Pixar-esque story yet. Because there was a bunch of parts of the story that I needed filled that weren't filled. But at the end of it, I was like, that was a good ass movie. They did a good job. And I was stoked about what it was. I was stoked where the story went, short of like the gaps and downfalls that I have with what I wanted to know, what Pixar would have given me, right? What I've been known or like given to know. Yeah. But would highly recommend it either way because it was a fantastic movie, and it came out of left field. Daisy knows all of animated shit anyway. And again, I'm getting super sensitive in my old age. And like, I swear to God, every movie that I watch nowadays, I find a reason to tear up or choke up on, dude. Like, I can feel it in my throat. And it's not even movies like that I need to be crying on. It's just random, like all the movie. I'm just like, oh, this is so heartfelt. Oh my God. Like, I'm gonna, like,
so nice.
They fucking deserved it so much. Like, oh God.
They're so great. This is great.
Rumble was fantastic. Rumble was great.
And one of the first things that caught me, because they have like, 5 title cards before the movie actually starts. WWE helped produce this movie.
No kid. Oh, well, it's got Roman Reigns in it.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
It's, with the wrestling aspect and everything else, you're like, okay, this is a really great film, especially considering that WWE's like, cool. Here's some money. Let's
make people love it, because I've fallen more in love with like old WWF and stuff. Like, as I've gotten older, I realize how much I took that professional quotes wrestling for granted, and like how good those storylines were, and like how great that production was for us as kids. But yeah, Roman Reigns in that movie, who is a WWE superstar now. Yeah. It's so hard to say WWE still.
Yeah.
Fuck the World Wildlife Federation Foundation.
They really fucked it up for the rest of us.
Yeah, really fucking raw dogged us, like taking Pluto away.
Thanks, fella.
Terry Crews.
Yeah.
Is a voice in the movie.
Will
Arnett. Which
is...
for me, okay, he didn't sound like Will Arnett, but because my version of Will Arnett will always be Job from Arrested Development. Yeah. Like, that's the voice that I hear when I see Will Arnett. But yeah, I had to bring that up. Sorry, go continue.
No, that was, I mean, it was fine, but like it's not. I'm so used to, like you said, with Pixar, where it's like Pixar's here and Disney's right at the same level now with them producing stuff, and it's just like they're such at a level of their own that when you watch a movie that's like Paw Patrol or Rumble or one of these ones that are from a different company, it's just like that's where they used to be. Like they're just living up here on like cloud nine, looking at everybody else like, good try, asshole.
Yeah, we've been plucking heartstrings since '95. Like, you dicks.
Okay, last two. The Matrix Resurrections. I think I went in a little too hyped for it, but still enjoyed myself nonetheless.
I've heard my reservations on this one.
There's things they do in it that are very cool and aspects that very much like this podcast, it ties into the nostalgia of the originals. So keep that in mind.
Let me ask you a question on this, and be truthful, right? And I thought this when I saw the trailer. I just watched John Wick for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And I've heard comparisons that the new Matrix is just John Wick, which from my honest opinion, that is John Wick. Like they gave me Keanu just decided to just bounce, right? And he looks like John Wick in this movie. He doesn't look like the Neo that I need Neo to look like. And is it just a John Wick? Is it John Wick 4 before we actually get John Wick 4 in 2023?
I wouldn't say it's John Wick because it's like
it's still got Trinity in it.
He doesn't use guns quite as much as he once did. Like in the old movies, it was all gunplay.
Well,
and there's still plenty of that.
Now he's a fucking Jedi master.
Like now he's like, yeah, once he figures out, oh, I am the chosen one, it's like, and they do some cool shit with that as well. Like,
but you cussed?
It's different and enjoyable enough that you felt like, okay, they did have a story to tell. It wasn't just, oh, let's just make another one for the hell of it. They really did seem like they had something they wanted to say.
Yeah, I'm curious. It's on the list again. I think you can stream that on HBO until like the end of January.
Yeah,
and then take it off.
Yeah, and then it'll be back in like 3 months. So
yeah.
Definitely check it out. Judge for yourself. As always, with anything, don't take people at their reviews. Watch it for yourself. Hey, you might find that you like a movie that most people don't. That's the great thing about movies, is they're sometimes just made for a very particular set of people that aren't everybody else.
And do you really have like something else better to do for those 2 hours at one given day out of your 7 days?
Yeah.
Watch
you play games. Come on. My top pick of this year, and we went and saw this in the theater because we had to. Spider-Man: No Way Home. We saw this in a crowded ass IMAX because that was the only time available for what worked for our little bubble of time that we had. It's the only time that worked. And we literally sat in old school theater style, shoulder to shoulder to the person next to us. Like it was that pack where every seat was full.
I'm gonna order a cheeseburger and go to sleep in 24 minutes.
No, like in hindsight, that probably would have been safer. But like we were like, for myself, I was like, I have to see this. This is the conclusion of the Watts trilogy of Spider-Man film,
which apparently it's not.
It's come to find out we're just in a new chapter of. Like, what an incredible feat to take 3 movies to tell an origin story. Like, we thought, oh, boy, I'm going to spoil some shit. I don't want to spoil shit.
No, don't spoil anything.
I'm not going to spoil anything.
It is very interesting how they took 3 movies plus the incorporation of Spider-Man in the Captain America and stuff. Like, the way that they're incorporating Tom Holland Spider-Man into the MCU is perfect, considering they're assholes for not giving up the rights to Spider-Man and giving it to Disney. At least they're doing great things with it. And I've heard nothing but good things about the new Spider-Man and like the fanfare that they give. Like everything about the new movie I heard is fantastic.
And it perfectly does what every Marvel movie has done and successfully sets up for the next film or the next mini films.
Because I've heard now that they're incorporating, right? Like they're actually working with Disney because they want to incorporate this version of Spider-Man into the MCU fully, but they're not going to give up the rights, especially after they're making bangers.
Oh,
Like, it's the
Like-
one superhero that like Disney doesn't own, right? And Sony's
Yeah.
like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, but why? Like, Disney's smart for like being like, okay, we'll play nice. Let's
Yeah.
make this a 50-50. We'll distribute. Let us help produce it. Let's make sure Kevin
We're trying to
Feige's
build a
in.
universe.
We've got a story we want to tell. Let's do this. And Sony's like, oh, we like money a lot. And considering this is about the only thing that we own these days that makes, well, that's not true, $1 billion. You know, so
Yeah, you look, if Disney comes asking, you grab their hand and their cock and you walk with them.
yeah, you just politely say, we want to hold on to our toy, but you can play with it.
This is my toy, but you can play with it. Exactly.
Give it back at the end of the day. And that's
exactly.
They've done that. And
Put our name at the bottom of the list and give us half the money. Like, you can do.
Yeah, we're like,
we're good.
oh fuck, dude,
Yeah,
I really want to
Spider-Man,
just.
I know you do, and we're just gonna get out of it. But I did want to talk about that. Like, it's something we haven't done in a long time. It just like brought up lists of things that we either enjoyed or think we're gonna enjoy. And it being the new year, and with the podcast being back finally, it's something I wanted to do. I wanted to talk about some of the stuff, you know, because again, I go back to a lot of good things happened in 2021, but overall it was a real shit year. Like, it doesn't feel like a year that's going to go down in my chapter books of things that like I enjoyed. It'll be like 2021, bought a house, got Sasha. 2022. We did amazing things in 2022. You know, like,
Yeah,
2020 started the podcast. Like,
it is wild that we've gone as far as we have, and with starting anything new, we've had some bumps in the roads, but like we've done it. Like, here we are, starting yet another new year with this thing.
yeah,
And it's like, and we have no plans to stop. We have ideas to play around with the format and try different things, and like incorporating the video aspect in certain situations for those who watch live, and for those who don't, you're still not going to lose anything, because our main goal is to make sure the podcast is as fun as it can be, as informative as two idiots can make it. Like,
you know, and we have stuff like, I mean, even looking back in 2021, like, we've got a website. You know, like, you can go to the website and check out some of the content there. Like, given I've been real bad about updating some of the content, and Rick's been real good about putting some new YouTube stuff out. There's a lot of stuff with the podcast that I feel like is going to grow in 2022. Now that, you know, I hate to say it this way, but now that the time is right, you know, because as much of a priority as it is real low on the priority list, given, you know, big life choices with buying the house and an animal and switching jobs and everything else. And I hate to say it that way, but it's just honest truth. It's going to be the first thing that gets wiped. I should say it was going to be the first thing that gets wiped. And I'm hoping 22 is different, because I did all the things that I needed to do as an adult. I'm an adult now. This game room, this is in my house. I can paint dicks all over the walls if I want, because I'm the landlord. So, you know, I want, you know, like it was in 2020, I want the podcast to become a priority again, because it's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy it.
yeah, like this year we've done so much stuff this year. Like, just to come over, just to kind of round things out for the end of the year, for the things that we've done with the podcast, we've played with the format with, you know, doing the cousins only episode where Drew and I just sat down and we put it out, and it's not nearly as like professional great as our normal, because I did the editing on that, and it was not great compared to Toby's level of like sophistication.
I will give credit where credit is due too, because you didn't ask a thing of me during that. And if I remember right, that I don't know where I was at that weekend. it could have been a wedding or something. We had a lot of stuff going on.
It was something
But
crazy for sure.
even still, like, I never explained a thing to you. I never gave you any tips as far as recording or editing or anything else. And yet you still by yourself put out that podcast, recorded yourself with person, everything in it. I mean, you do everything for ours anyway, other than the technical aspects. So I don't want to sell you short by any means because I am the short-sticked one here. But dude, like when I saw it post and everything, it's like a proud papa moment, you know, where it's like these are part of the, like, it's a background of the show that people don't get to see, right? Like I don't touch the script, like I barely touch the script, and our script is more of a guideline than it is a script. But the stuff that we talk about, I go in blind most of the time, and a lot of people don't realize that. Like you put that part of the show together, you put the show together. I do the other end, like I do the video stuff sometimes, you know. My computer streams it, and even if you look back at like what this year gave us, you know, you started out this year using a laptop that I used to use for beer pong pre-COVID, and was like, I don't need this laptop anymore because I don't know when I'm going to go back to the bar.
Yeah.
On top of that, I have I have a Surface Pro that I currently use now. To now, you have a full setup. You have a mixer. You run a fucking Audio Technica mic. Like, you have a PC that is not, you know, a school computer. Like it's crazy just in the little things that we look back in the last year, that most of the growth, considering our scheduling woes at times, has come this past year. Like we progressed the podcast to a place that when we started, I'd have told you were fucking dumb to think we were going to get to, you know, like, so
yeah, to be where we're at, right?
It's been crazy.
The Valentine's episode where we took our respective significant others.
That was this year.
And we fucking had, like, you know, that it was super interesting to see like two couples who are madly in love, but like how different they are. Like your relationship with Daisy is so different from Tiff and I's relationship that it's so fun to see. Like not everybody's relationship is as you would see in a movie, you know, like
no,
it's so great.
And that, damn, I didn't even think about that even being on the list. Wow. That's a good pull. But yeah, 100%. Like the interview with our respective significant others was a very interesting tell, because especially because I'm sure Tiff is kind of the same way. I mean, you were kind of the same way when we started too, but like that comfort of being in that hot seat, you know, is very weird. I mean, like we talked about at the beginning of this show, like it's still weird to me to start the show. You know, it's something that should be so comfortable, and to bring on a person that not only, you know, gives me the freedom to do something like what we're doing and to just get on the internet and spout bullshit to however many people decide to listen, you know, but to be a part of it, that was a special episode. That was a special episode, and I appreciate that in all aspects, because that was, looking back, a very cool thing to do, and to incorporate our better halves only makes it better.
Yeah,
that's a cool pull. I like that.
We did a lot more theme episodes where it's like we'll do a deeper dive, like we did Betty White, and like it's crazy that we're almost a year to the day of like we did a deep dive on Betty White on like January 14th or something, and she just passed. So it's like this weird, like we, you know,
yeah, like, I was gonna bring it up at the end of the episode, but we'll touch on it now. But fucking rip, man. Yeah, like that one hurt. That one hurt. The best thing I heard about it, because I don't want to stay on it too long, it'll make me sad, is that she lived through 24 leap years, and that technically, if we want to go about how old she was like 107 days or something because of the leap year gap.
Because of the leap year,
you know. Awesome. But it's funny, and you know, we watched episode 1 of Golden Girls yesterday, and only episode 1. And I did beer pong New Year's Eve And so
Oof.
when I did beer pong, I did the ball drop with through the TV sound and our normal New Year's celebration. And literally after the ball drops, I played the Golden Girls theme song because I wasn't going to deal with that shit in 2021. That was 2022's problem. And we were going to deal with it and respect it then because fuck that. I'm over it. Let's go to next year. And that's what we did. But yeah, I mean, just the GOAT. Hands down. There's probably not a better person that's been alive or a better person living now than what Betty White was just for the general public. I mean, that lady was a saint.
Truly. National treasure. But we're going to move on because that's a bummer.
It hurts.
But like,
that one hurts.
At least we have things to remember her by. Go check out her.
Including a podcast.
Well, yeah, exactly. We've got a podcast, and go check out her.
What kind of world are we going to leave behind for Betty White?
Exactly. Check out her SNL episode that she hosted back in 2010.
Yep.
It is just your ribs will be like aching by the end of it. This year we also started the website and really pushed the social media at a level that we're grinding. We're trying to make it something bigger and better, and I feel like we have. And the social media, we always get good responses from everybody on that, so we'll just keep up that. It's all fun on there. We did a fun thing where we started building the Retronomipod with the arcade, the food court, the stores. Like
we had a putt course now.
The miniature golf, like that's fun.
Those ones are so much fun. Those episodes are so fun.
Is it Jumanji or Jumanji?
It will live in infamy. There will be merch one day of the
How do you say the word? We all say it differently.
The phonetics. Is it the phonetics?
Yeah.
Of how you pronounce Jumanji.
Yeah.
And not Jumanji.
But that's what's fun about our podcast. We decided in the beginning of this thing when you brought the idea to me that like, hey, I got this idea for a retro where we're talking about nostalgia and other stuff. And it's branched out from just that where we're talking about future nostalgia, which we actually did a future. We're like, where's it all going to be from here? What is it going to be? But we're still sticking our wheelhouse to talking about like nerd shit and like playing with the format where each episode is a unique thing. So hopefully that brings people back to be like, oh, this is a cool episode. Oh, that one wasn't as good because the topic wasn't exactly in my wheelhouse, but I learned something or saw like, oh man, they're so pumped about it. I'm pumped about it. Now I'm going to go check it out. So
yeah, it's one of those things where if you really look back on it, what we've done in the past year, like given the hiccups, the podcast has changed a lot, but hasn't changed from our initial like thinking. And it's one thing that I appreciate you for, especially as, not only a friend but a co-host, is that anytime I've ever brought anything to you where I'm like, hey, like I think we should change this or I think we should do this, and it's the same thing for you, like we go back to you kind of designing how the show's set up. Like there's things that you'll bring to me and we'll get into it here in a little bit, but I'm just like, of course we can do that because that's a fucking fantastic idea. And I love the fact that the podcast has stayed organic in the sense that it's still our thing. It's not built around a certain standard that we want to put out. Like given, half of some episodes are just us catching up. And it's just like,
these days.
Yeah. And so it's one of those things where it's like at the end of the day, when we post an episode, I'm just like, I either had fun doing it or I was like, cool, like we got our episode for this week, but 90% of the time, 95% of the time, I'm at the end of it, I go upstairs and I talk to Daisy and she's like, how was it? And I'm like, oh, it was just, God, you're just gonna, I'm not gonna tell you shit. Like, you're just gonna have to listen. And I love the fact that even through all the random little things, whether it be good or bad that we've been through, the podcast has still stayed organic in the sense that we just do what we want on it. It is literally our place on the internet to talk shit or praise or evaluate. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. Getting all sentimental here. Just someone take over.
Tony Stark.
I know.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a year, man. And next year we're gonna, or next year we're already fucking in it. It's
this year.
It's like more of the same, but hopefully not kind of feeling where it's like, I don't want it to be such a drastic change because 2021 was such a like weird, but like I do like when it's like, oh fuck, oh shit, just with the podcast of changing stuff. That's the only kind of change I need is when we're like playing with the format and trying things. That's it.
Yeah, and I think
everything else just needs to be chill.
I've been in like a weird place for your personality because mine and your personalities are quite different when it comes to we'll say little ADHD things, right? Because I'm the dude that's like, nope, it's getting stale. Like I need something different. Like let's do something else. Like tonight, for example, I have not been drinking on the podcast for a while, and tonight we decided to have some drinks for the podcast, and it's been fantastic. But it's one of those things where for you that constant is safety, and for me the change is safety. And for some reason, the way that the podcast works, the combination of the two just mesh, and it's nice because eventually one of us wants something, and that's either for it to stay the same or to change something up. And our places have been nice and comfortable for those two things, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff.
Let's take a 2-second break because we're about to get into nostalgia, and I'm gonna pee.
We should hold that until next because we're at what, over 2 hours at this point.
We're right at 2 hours. Yep.
So let's save it for next week if we can, because.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That sounds good. Okay. That works. But yeah, the podcast where it's been going and where I think it might be headed is just absolutely fantastic, in my opinion, personally.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, and I don't know, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun, but yeah.
Well, I'll tell you. With that being said, we put out a show tonight without actually getting to our list, and I'll take that blame because I've been real bad about being on schedule the last couple weeks, but we'll save it. And again, I want to just say that the podcast has become a priority again. So we're not going to talk about what happened to episode 54 yet. There's a lost episode that I will have saved in a dark place. It'll come out in the midst of a random number sequence. But for tonight, that's about all I have, unless you have something else you want to bring up.
No, I feel like we have touched on everything we could possibly touch or have consent to touch. So, as always, go to the retronomipod.com for all of our socials. I'm trading it up. I'm trying to do your bit. You get the links to all the socials.
Retronomipod.com. The big thing I want to pimp out, especially in the new year, is the Discord. If you guys want to join the Discord, there is a link to the Discord that's up on the website. So with all the other links, the Instagrams, the Facebooks, you can follow both Facebook pages from the website, the page and the group. The group's where all the fun stuff happens. The page is where the stream is at. We also stream on Twitch at Retronomipod. And all my links to all our socials are on the website. That's the best place to go. But that's all I have.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take us out the way that we always do with the weird question of the week. If you got snowed in at an IKEA, who gets priority to the beds, customers or employees?
I can't wait to fucking battle royale this out. As always, we appreciate you guys joining in on this week's episode of the Retronomipod. We love you. We love you. We love you. Mi amor, you. we will catch you next week. Thank you for listening to the Retronomipod. We love you.
Good night.